Well, round one has begun. Our players have, quote-unquote, 50 minutes to win the game. To win 2 games, actually. 2 games. Fun fact about the Magic rules is that most people assume that it's best 2 out of 3, which is in like 9 times out, or maybe even like 99 times out of 10. 99 times out of 100. A correct assessment. It is best 2 to 3. But technically, the rules are actually first to 2 wins. And the reason that is because if you somehow get a draw twice in a row, you got to keep playing. So it's like Raymond wins the die roll here. He's gonna start out with a breeding pool. He's gonna play a Noble Hierarch. So Shock and breeding pool, Noble Hierarch. I don't think CJ is expecting Infect with this exact opener here. There's not really a whole lot going on. I mean, it's not really telegraphed. Infect is really a popular deck at the moment. So, you might be able to catch Raymond off guard. Raymond plays a Swamp into a Thoughtseize. Well, the jig is up. There's the Glister up the by agent. Oh, and the Venerated Rot Priest. Hello? That's some spicy tech. Raymond's going to take a good look at this hand. He's going to be like, I see. So I'm in danger. So I'm in big danger, big danger. A little bit suspect here with how things are going to be going on in this game. So I mean, mono B Coffers usually has quite a bit of interaction, right? It's a mono black deck, so it runs like cards like Fatal Push, the Black March as its kind of go-to removal. It's got like the new Shieldred's Edict, which is a pretty good card. Lets you selectively get rid of specific threats. And CJ is gonna make Raymond's gonna make CJ discard a. I just realized that these cameras are actually backwards. I should fix this. Lamau. This is confusing because Raymond is the top camera. He's actually the. Oh no. Yes. No, Raymond is the bottom player, but he's the top camera. So we're actually gonna fix that really quick. Whoopsies, whoopsie daisies. So let's just grab Raymond's camera and let's just play a top cam. Let's just grab. Whoop. Let's just bring it right down here. And then we'll grab CJ and we'll put him up top. It's a little bit of coordination here that I did not expect to have to worry about, actually, which is kind of funny. Wow. And then we will swap top and bottom here. Raymond. And play our top eight. CJ. Alright, we're fixed. We're good. Alright, Raymond is in fact on the bottom. Mr. Mono Black Coffers, and CJ is on the top with the. Alright, that makes more sense. Wow, that was confusing. For me and everyone involved. Well, Raymond also runs the old Orcish Bowmaster, and the sad thing about Infect creatures is they're all kind of one toughness. So Bowmaster just gets to delete the Blighted Agent that CJ played. So he's gonna follow it up with a Glistener Elf into a Rot Priest. Now Rot Priest is pretty interesting because every time it's targeted by a spell, I think maybe also an ability, I can't remember exactly, spell or ability, that's gonna give Raymond a poison counter. And so Rot Priest doesn't actually have to get in for damage, you just have to point a lot of things at it. And then your opponent is sad. Because they get Infect, and as we all know, 10 Infect means you're dead. Raymond calculating his options. He's got the Swamp, he's got the Urborg, he's got Field of Ruin. But he's got 2 blockers, and he can definitely block a Glistener Elf. I think Raymond would be especially happy to, trade this Orc army for a Glistener Elf plus like a pump spell. But I guess with the Exalted, he can't just force pump spells. CJ can just like swing with his 2/2, and then Raymond will have to double block, and then he'll be trading both the Bowmaster and the army for one of CJ's pump spells. Raymond just checking the ruling on something here. Asking our assistant judge here, Calvin. Calvin's a good boy. Everyone loves Calvin. Also works at Ogre's Den. But just gonna check, I believe, the ruling / the Oracle text on something. Both players are at 17 life. Thank you to the life pads on the side there. Huzzah. Very good. Thank you, Calvin. Doing great. Yeah, I think the next one, though, we'll have to adjust the camera slightly to be shifted more to the bottom side, because we're seeing a couple of Raymond's lands being cut off. That's fine. That's a fairly easy fix to make. Nothing too difficult. Nothing that the old offbeat hero can't handle. Yeah, so Raymond's going to pitch March, or he's going to cast March of March of something, the Black March. So what is this card called? March of Wretched Sorrow. He's going to pitch the Troll of Khazad-dûm, which is the classic mono-black Swamp Cycler. It's presumably to do 2 damage to that Raw Priest. So there's going to be a trigger, because Raymond has decided to target that card with a spell. So it's going to be a trigger, which is going to give Raymond 1 Infect. So yeah. But Raymond does gain some life, which is, not very relevant in the matchup where you're trying to just infect your opponent. Ooh, with a Distortion Strike. That's going to give the Glistener Elf unblockable. Plus, I believe there was a land, or a Giant Growth? No, something else. I can't remember. I think it's a landfall one. Good attack in. Raymond cannot block. So CJ gets in for a bunch of infect. He gets the rebound on the Distortion Strike. Pretty good, actually. I like that. This is a card that I didn't see infect for a long time. People thought it was a little bit just too gimmicky, I think. But giving infect creature unblockable is pretty good. Pretty good. There we go, nice. Good job, Calvin, you're killing it. So yeah, Raymond's at a scary 8 infect now. So Distortion Strike plus just the Exalted on the Glistener Elf should be enough to win the game. Unless Raymond has an answer here, which he's going to have one. He's going to play a Talisman. That's interesting. You don't really see Talisman too much in Coffers. But let's say, I believe that's the green-black Talisman. Oh yeah, I should pay attention to chat as well. We have a chat here, don't we? Somewhere over the rainbow. Going to Twitch. Let's check our chat. I think so far only Ryan is monitoring the chat. I just have to go to our streamer the creator dashboard. Stream manager. Where's our chat? I am now Dare. Thank you. All right. Yes. All right, now I can see the chat. Isn't that great? I'm just gonna pop out this chat. Pop out the chat. Shrink this. Put this over here. Ryan is also here. All right, CJ's fat, or CJ gets Field of Ruin, which I don't think he really cares about. He's like, yeah, sure, I don't need that breeding pool. The Sorcerer Strike has rebound, so he's going to get casted for free on his next upkeep. Which will give himself unblockable again. We are popping. Thank you. Thank you, Mila. Would you like to use Sorcerer Strike? Ooh, but CJ doesn't have the answer to the Fatal Push, so he's going to have to put another Infect creature into play and try again next turn. He's just going to pass. He's got no play. That's it. So things are looking good for CJ. Unfortunately, 8 Infect, while close to death, is not in fact death. You know, and much like life points, the most important Infect damage is the last one. Everything before that, I mean, no one really cares about, right? And since CJ pretty much has to rely on a creature getting in, not having a creature that last turn, you know, is always going to delay him by a full turn, because he has to wait for the creature to untap, right? Become unsummoning sick. He has to put a creature in play and then survive a turn. Raymond, however, just going to go get the One Ring. Pretty good card. Just going to delay CJ even further. What's interesting about 7 or 8, in fact, more than that being 10 life points. This is true. This is true. But I mean, you know, it's all about the last damage. Just the last, you know. So CJ is going to play Blighted Agent into a card I have never seen before. He's going to give it a roll? What? This is a new card. All right, we're checking the deck list. Royal Treatment. Royal Treatment. We're going to consult the Googles. What the heck is a Royal Treatment? Hello, Scryfall? Royal Treatment. So let's put a Royal Treatment is target creature you control gains hexproof till end of turn. And you create a Royal Roll token attached to that creature. So CJ has put a Blight Agent into play and then attached a Royal Roll enchantment token, which is +1/+1 and Ward 1. Definitely interesting. I mean, getting hexproof is something that Infect wants, and I mean, it's not the biggest buff, but having the permanent Ward 1 is also not terrible. But as I just talked about earlier, we're kind of in a sticky situation that, you know, Raymond just like slams the One Ring and buys him another turn, like guaranteed, right? Unless CJ has some sort of like, you know, anti-damage prevention card, like Questing Beast or something, he's gonna have a hard time getting past protection from everything. So, which really just gives Raymond another turn to, you know, set up a lock or set up a board state where CJ can't get in for the kill, you know. What is nice though is that Blighted Agent is unblockable. So this Karn is likely not meant for this world. Especially because Raymond, I believe, is tapped out here, except for the Talisman he has in play. But because of the Ward 1 on the Royal Roll token, he'll have to do something for free to actually destroy this Blighted Agent, which I don't think Raymond has any card like that. Everybody loves CJ. All right, the players are discussing some ruling stuff. I imagine they're probably talking about protection from everything, because I mean, it's definitely a strange condition. He's just gonna pass? I thought Blighted was unblockable. Aren't you gonna kill that Karn? Nope. All right, never mind. Never mind. Maybe CJ didn't realize that he could attack Karn. Not that I don't think. The ring does protect from Infect, because when you have protection, you prevent all damage, and Infect is just dealing damage in a different way. So if you are not dealing damage, you're still not dealing Infect. But that Karn was definitely wide open to attack. So I'm not sure why CJ didn't just like get in. I mean, sometimes he'll play the ring, and in most cases it's just like skip your turn. And so CJ sometimes just like acknowledges that it's like, yeah, you know, whatever, I can't do anything, fine. I'll just like pass. You know, because of like protection or whatever. But Planeswalkers are fully vulnerable, even if even if you yourself, the player, has protection from everything. So. So yeah, it could just be that where CJ just kind of just like tunnel vision. He's like, well, he played the ring, like whatever, I can't do anything, pass. But I mean, with an unblockable, I mean, I'm pretty sure Blighted Agent is unblockable. That's its shtick, right? It has Infect and unblockable. Blighted Agent. Yeah, it can't be blocked. So yeah, I totally could have went in, killed the Karn, but it's also not entirely relevant. Karn being on 1. You know, Raymond's already gotten 2 artifacts. Raymond has unfortunately removed CJ's poor Blighted Agent, and now we're back to square one with no Infect creatures in play and no way to finish the game with the current board state. So now not hitting that Karn definitely feels bad. So yeah, it looks like Raymond just played another March. We said that because his life total has gone up now to 22. So we just marched the Blighted Agent for 2. And then Ren's going to play a Bowmasters and ping off that Noble Hierarch. So CJ's feeling definitely quite sad here. Quite sad. Deal a little damage, draw a card, play a Noble Hierarch, and pass a turn. This is not the situation that CJ wants to be in right now. You know, I think an Inkmoth Nexus would be really helpful. I think CJ's only hope is that Raymond dies to ring triggers, which, let me tell you, the likelihood of that is basically 0. Basically 0. I don't think there's any chance that Raymond dies from the ring triggers. Oh, Walking Ballista. You know, again, when all CJ's creatures are have 1 power, Walking Ballista looks pretty freaking good. Raymond gets in for 4. Yeah, CJ goes down to 8. And it's not looking good for our Intrepid hero. I never thought I would call Infect the hero deck, you know? But, like, here we are. Here we are chilling. Oh, no, CJ's just gonna pass back. That's so sad. I don't think there's any kind of instant speeds, I think. CJ's only out here is possibly Venerated Rot Priest. Let me just check the wording if it's spell or ability on the Rot Priest. Rot Priest. Never creature control is the target of a spell. Yeah, so unfortunately the Ballista / Bowmasters is a pretty good answer to the Rot Priest, since it just like deletes it without having to give himself any poison counters, but it is a 1/2, which isn't terrible. So you know they can't delete it outright. It needs a little bit extra help. But what's nice is that all CJ really has to do is get a Rot Priest in play and then cast 2 spells on it, and that would be Raymond's downfall. But unfortunately, it looks like Raymond is going to take game 1 here. I mean, fortunately for Raymond, unfortunately for CJ. So congratulations, Raymond. Oh, not that one. This one. Huzzah. Yes, it is. Good. Awesome. Great job, actually.
I just had a comment.
Yeah.
Raymond missed a trick. He should have carved the roll token.
Can he?
It's an enchantment.
Or no, Karn can only target artifacts.
He can target to take
You
up.
mean like, yeah.
No.
Yeah,
No.
it's
So
just
he
non-creature artifacts.
Then he couldn't have done it to the Noble Hierarch.
Did he take up on Noble Hierarch?
He can take it with no target.
Yes.
For some reason, I thought he had a. I'm not paying attention.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, no, the only thing that I think that was missed was that when Raymond played the One Ring, CJ could have still attacked Karn with his like 2/2/3/3 Blighted Agent. Because it's unblockable, and Karn doesn't have protection, so he could have got rid of Karn. I don't know if that really does anything, but it was close. But yeah, boogie board, great.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, really good. That was our hero, Calvin. Just helping out with the production. Well, let's give a nice round of applause for Calvin. Ayo, Bubble Calvin. Yeah, anytime someone casts a card that I have to Google what it does, that I've never seen it before, automatic hero. That's just the rule. Look, them's the rules. That's just how she goes. Let's see the spicy new cards. I don't want the old and busted. I want the new hotness. No, I want something fun, interesting, crazy, cool, and kooky. I want that new groove. But all the two players are sideboarding here. Raymond's sideboard option is probably consists of just removal. The hard part about a lot of Mono B Coffers decks is because they're Karn decks, like Karn the Great Creator. A lot of their sideboard is kind of taken up by like the Karn board, right? Because Karn's down tick lets you pick a card out of your sideboard, put it into your hand. So you want to play a bunch of like kind of one of silver bullet targets. And the awkward part is that if there's a card that you want to play early, if you put it in your main deck and then you draw a card, you can't pull it out of your sideboard anymore, right? Because you've clearly taken it out. So this sideboarding for Raymond could either be really easy or really hard. He could just, look through his sideboard, pretend to make some changes and then just do nothing. Because he's just going to pick these cards with Karn out anyway. So it doesn't really matter necessarily what this Game 2 sideboarding plan looks like. Because really Raymond has already sideboarded in Game 1 and Game 2. He can just play Karn, use Karn's -2 loyalty ability to pick a card out of the sideboard, and he can just get whatever he wants. CJ, however, actually has to sideboard. He does not get a free sideboard in Game 1. He gets to actually do real things. And I imagine he'll be playing just more protection spells, right? Because Raymond's primary form of interaction is going to be removal. This is mono black. He's not going to have any counter spells. He's not going to have, and his deck doesn't run are too many creatures. He does run a lot of removal. We saw Bone Masters. We saw March of Wretched Sorrow. We saw Fatal Push. So I would imagine that CJ is going to be bringing in just like extra things that give his creatures protection or hexproof or some combination of both. And then since we saw the breeding pool, he could also bring in some number of counters, or some number of counters, as well as, he could bring in Artifact Hate. Artifact Hate's kind of a weird one for him here because the Coffers isn't really an artifact deck. But of course, all the cards that Karn picks up out of the sideboard will be artifacts. So if he wanted to bring in a card like Force of Vigor, it's only really good if Raymond has time to play Karn and then play an artifact with Karn, right? I don't think Mono Black Coffers really plays much artifacts outside of that. Right, like I don't think, like we saw the Talisman of Resilience in Game 1, which, is like ramp, it's fine, but is that really something that you want to be bringing Artifact Tape for, right? Because, every single card that you bring in, you gotta take cards out. And with Infect, it's a very streamlined deck plan. All the cards in the main deck in Game 1 kind of do one thing. And when you start sideboarding to hate on your opponent's stuff, you kind of have to, in turn, dilute your own game plan. So if I was CJ, I probably wouldn't bring in any Artifact Hate. I would try to just, analyze the game and figure I should win before that turn. I should win before turn 4. Right? Or I guess like turn 5 maybe, before Raymond can even play Karn and get an artifact. We try to win there first, rather than try to answer the artifacts that Raymond gets off of Karn. So I think if you reach that point of the game, you're already behind, and playing Artifact Hate is not really gonna pull you back in. And having these cards stranded in hand if you draw them too early is just like a super big feels bad, right? So all in all, I think CJ's plan is gonna look best if he just adjusting some of these cameras. If he just focuses on his main plan here. So CJ starts out with a pretty strong opener with Pendelhaven into Noble Hierarch, and then Hierarch from Pendelhaven into Venerated Rot Priest. The old target this creature, you get a poison counter. Raymond's going to make CJ sacrifice, and so you just have a bit of an awkward situation here, but that does seem to be like the logical choice. So you just get rid of your mana dork because you want your Infect creatures to stay in play. So yeah, so he just gives up the Noble Hierarch and just lets Rot Priest hang out there. And then so you're just gonna go for the old Royal Roll token, which is going to buff the Rot Priest, make it a 2/3 with Ward 1. And it's gonna give Raymond a poison counter. So now it's beginning. So Rot Priest is a little bit weird because it doesn't have Infect, it has Toxic 1. Which means that regardless of how much damage it deals, it's only ever gonna give you 1 poison counter. Of course, all these spells that CJ is casting does also give Raymond a poison counter. So Raymond's going to attack. So CJ's actually going to attack with this Rot Priest for 7 because its Scale Up turns Rot Priest into a 6/4. And then the roll gives it an extra +1/+1. So does deal a bunch of damage here, but only actually gives Raymond 1 additional poison counter, which is kind of sad. But it seems like that's the plan that we're on, is that we just have a 2/3, and we're hoping, I think, CJ's just hoping that it goes the distance. He can maybe cast enough spells on it. Ooh, but Raymond has the second Edict. Just back-to-back Edict. Oh. Spell Pierce. You want to pay 2 for that, buddy? You want to pay 2 for that? Oh, you can't. You can't. It's so funny. I like this. All the counter spells that ask your opponent to pay extra for something. It always feels so passive-aggressive because no matter when you're casting it, like ideally you're casting it in a scenario where your opponent can never pay. So it's just like, do you want to pay 2? Oh wait, you can't. You fool. So CJ's going to pressure Raymond's life total some more by taking for another 7 with the second scale up. Gonna put Raymond, so CJ's got it for like 14 damage here. And I believe like 4 or 5 infect. So, I mean, CJ could very well win off of just regular damage. I think Raymond's down to like 5. Gonna play the ring, gonna get protection for everything. Now, if I just check the text on Rot Priest, is it target opponent? Target opponent, alright, so Raymond is safe completely on this next turn because for every spell that CJ casts on Rot Priest, will not be able to target Raymond as he has protection. So no free poison counters, and no damage, unfortunately. No damage. But this is definitely a weird situation because I think Raymond felt like he could be pretty loosey-goosey with his life total, which I mean is a fine thing to think about when it comes to Infect. Because you're like, I mean, they're not doing damage to my life total, like who cares? I can just do ring stuff, it's fine. But I mean, here we are. CJ just doming Raymond for like 14 damage over like 2 turns. He's kind of nasty. Kind of nasty. And of course, if Raymond wants to get rid of this Rot Priest, unless he has an additional edict, he's gonna have to start targeting things at him. And that's gonna give him poison counters. But I mean, this is the turn, and Raymond's already lost protection. So now anything he points at Rot Priest is gonna give, is gonna cause him to get some poison counters here. Rot Priest is a pretty spicy included Infect. It's a nice way to kind of chip into the extra little bits of Infect. Like I think that ideally you'd want to lead with an Infect creature. Oh, interesting. So Raymond did in fact put in Chalice of the Void into the main deck. We saw him thinking about casting it. Which is usually a Karn target, but he decided to put it into his board anyway. Alright, he's gonna play Beseech the Mirror. Another spicy card from Wilds of Eldraine, but this one I don't have to Google. Basically, Beseech the Mirror has it says you can, it's 1 and 3 blacks with 4 mana total. You can search your deck for a card, and then you can exile it face down. Then, if you bargain, bargain is the thing where you can sacrifice a token, artifact, or enchantment, and then you get an extra bonus. So the base part of the effect is that you get to basically search your library for a card and then put it into your hand for crisp 4 mana. But if you bargain it, then if the card that you search for is 4 mana or less, you can search your library for any card, and then if the card that you find is cost 4 or less, you get to cast it for free, which is kind of zesty here. Gonna cast Damnation. CJ's gonna tap green, gonna Apostle's Blessing to give protection to the Rot Priest to, I guess, infect Raymond for 1. Raymond's thinking, like, wait. Because, I mean, a common mistake people make is that protection saves from board wipes, which is not correct. Protection does not save you from board wipes. But it seems like CJ is just cashing in some extra infect here, and then he's like, yeah, this dies now. Yeah, it was just like, all right, I'll use this Blessing. I'll give you an infect counter. So Raymond's sitting at 6 infect. Pass back to CJ. CJ untaps, draws a card, plays a Blighted Agent. The old 1/1 unblockable infect. Which, I mean, could be enough, assuming what CJ has, but I think Raymond has an answer here. Bowmaster, shoot off the Blighted Agent. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. Sad for CJ. Yeah, feel the brew in the breeding pool. I don't believe CJ runs any islands, or at least I don't think he should, because I think island is the worst card in the deck if he plays an island. Because I mean, Infect is generally like base green, and then you splash blue for like a couple cards, you know, for like some light counter spells and for the Blighted Agent. Otherwise, it's essentially just mono green. CJ draws, plays a Glistener Elf. And, well, at least this time he has Installation from a Bowmaster. Because the Pendlehaven gives a 1/1 creature +1/+2. So you make this Blighted Agent a 2/3 at any time. So Raymond will need, like, double ping or have to deal more than 3 damage. So he's going to try to force it. It looks a lot like he's trying to force CJ to... Yeah, so in response to Pendlehaven Pump, play another Bowmaster? No, Fatal Push. And there goes Blighted Agent. Well, that is tragic. This game was looking pretty close, but now it's shifted pretty heavily in Raymond's favor. So I think Raymond's sitting at a crispy 4 life. So hilariously, if CJ can find a way to just deal a little bit of damage, he can win. He doesn't have to win through Infect. You know, 4 damage or 4 infect, both are fine, actually. Kind of an odd situation to be in, but here we are. Here we are. 4 of any kind of, you know, there's only 2 ways to deal damage to an opponent. And CJ's got both ways locked out in the same quantity. 4 of any kind of damage. Oh, there's Rot Priest. There's the Rot Boy. Pass the turn. Oh, but I think CJ only runs a couple Rot Priests. I don't know how many Rot Priests CJ runs. Because, I mean, it's not the best infect creature. It's, like, more weird than good, I think. It's definitely fun. But all it takes is 4 spells on the Rot Priest. Oh, this is really interesting, actually. Vines of Astwood to give it untargetable and then give Raymond a poison counter. So what's really, really cool here is that even though Raymond is playing Chalice on 1 here, this doesn't actually stop CJ because CJ can just let his spells get countered, but because you're still putting them on the stack and targeting Rot Priest, you still get the triggers from the poison counters coming off. So CJ could easily, I'm not sure how many cards CJ has in hand, but if he has enough, he can still win by just like, you know, playing a land and then casting 3 spells on his Rot Priest. That is good enough to win the game. That would be so sick. Raymond's in the tank. He's thinking. Yeah, that's kind of a weird edge case where normally Chalice on 1 here is pretty lights out for Infect, but CJ has the specific board state where he can still win, like, relatively easily. He just has to, like, target the Rot Priest with a couple spells. What's also funny here is that if Raymond tries to target Rot Priest with some spells, then he'll still get a poison counter, and then CJ can just respond with 2 spells of his own, and then it's game over. Ooh, this is so close! This is actually so sick. Oh my god. This is awesome. I love how Chalice does nothing here. It kind of low-key does nothing. Yeah, come in for 2. Takes a tiny bit of damage. CJ says I accept. That is allowed. Yeah, so if Raymond even looks at the Rot Priest, CJ can just be like, oh no, but the One Ring does complicate things, because now CJ cannot give poison counters. Gonna cast a Might of Old Corrosa. Counter with Chalice. Give a poison counter. Up to 8. Joop. Nice, just turn the 7 into an 8. That was great, Calvin. That was awesome. I am here for that. Yeah, and then CJ gets to untap. Draw. Still has protection, but now Raymond is in the danger zone where in Raymond's upkeep, CJ could just cast 2 instants on the Rot Priest and win the game here. 2 mana. Untap. JK. Oh, CJ, don't forget about protection for everything. You're so close. You basically have the win here, I think. Yeah, pass. Yeah, just do nothing. Oh, this is so cool. This is so cool. This is actually so cool. I love how Chalice doesn't do anything here. It's actually so sick. Absolutely insane. I have to admit I wasn't sold on Rot Priest initially, but seeing this board set right now, card is literally hilarious. Yeah, shoulder, we don't care about that card. That's fine, resolves. CJ's just got to find a couple cards at the top before he dies. Yeah, Raymond's going to gain a bunch of life because it's shouldered. We don't care about that anymore because you're basically dead. You're basically dead. You fool! I have already won. Count up some lands and stuff. But yeah, just so that Rot Priest is worded, whenever it gets the target of a spell or ability, and to put a spell on the stack, you must target. If a spell says target, you must target, regardless of if it gets countered or not. So, yes, you're using a fun spot where, yeah, Chalice countering doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't do anything. It's insane. Absolutely cracked. Cuz Inif, also, sorry, at 10 o'clock, I didn't see your what's up, Derek. What up, my boy? Raymond trying to do some calculations, trying to figure out how to not die to just any targetable spell, just anything. Of course, if Raymond has a removal spell for the Rot Priest, here, he has to just hope that he doesn't have any kind of instant speed, targeting. Ooh, Walking Ballista. Walking Ballista on... on 2, I believe? Raymond trying to figure out how to win here. Walking Ballista is an out. Yeah, just swing it with the squad. Walking Ballista on 5. Woof. Raymond doing some Coffers things. Block one of the Bowmasters. Raymond says, I wish to ping this. He's like, yeah, that resolves. Raymond says, I wish to ping this again. No! CJ, you were so close. That's so sad. Oh no, the Walking Ballista ruined everything. CJ did not, in fact, have instant speed interaction. He just needed 2 1-mana spells, and that's all he needed. It was so close. That's absolutely tragic. That is absolutely tragic. You know, I was really hoping, really rooting for the spicy Raw Priest. Really, really hoping. And they're going to scoop it up, and Raymond takes the win. A clean 2-0 against CJ's Infect. It was actually down to the wire. That was very, 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 very. That was extremely close. Extremely close. CJ put up a good fight. But I mean, that's the best we can do, really. That's, you know. Poor Infect. There's just so much hate on anything with one toughness that it's really hard to play play a deck that revolves around one toughness creatures. The Rot Priest almost got there, but Walking Ballista just shuts that down so hard, so hard. You know, I mean, not a lot of decks can beat Walking Ballista on 5. Yeah, get in that handshake. Little good sportsmanship there. Very nice, very nice.